as the relationship is innocent. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also, I said too, based on this, he was very sympathetic. When you read, there is a verse in which Allah says, "Surah Alif Lam Mim Ghulibatir Rum, Alif Lam Mim Ghulibatir Rum fi adna al-ard, wa min ba'di ghalabihim sayaghlibun." Dafa am kuy laaj. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Someone is on the line.
Walaikum salam.
Na ngeen def? Welcome.
Thank you very much. Contact us in Islamic Sabbi.
Thank you.
It's very important, especially in UC, the good program.
Thank you.
So, Bangla Girem, Amalaki, Barimora, like a Bangla Girem. I had to the Babu Karajalo, my head tranquil.
Thank you very much.
The Padeta program, my head of program, me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amin.
Amen.
Amin ya Rabbal Alamin.
Is part of building a nation because Islam sinko ba si ganaw rek bay na yep
oh yes
so yalla na yalla fe ñun yep
amin amin ya Rabbal Alamin.
na def ni yalla na yalla may leen katan bu bari
amin amin ya Rabbal Alamin.
waaw man awmal mala la ca dal lu nga del wax ne wax nga yep dal
wala jërëjëf
waaw jërëjëf
thank you very much. You see, I said to the Prophet ﷺ never forgot that favor. You see, he was somebody who, if you do one good to him, he would do 10 or at least more than that to you. When they showed him their sympathy, when they saved him, in those occasions, the Prophet ﷺ created that constitution in which they socialized, in which they demonstrated justice to them, even though you may see that they have difference in faith. The other thing is, when, for example, there was this conflict between the Persian Empire and the Roman Empire. If you read Surah Rome, Alif Lam Mim Ghulibatir Rum, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay? When you read Surah Rum, Alif Lam Mim Ghulibatir Rum fi adna al-ard, wa hum min ba'di ghalabihim sayaghlibun fi bid'i sinin. There was a conflict. Those days, Persian Empire and the Roman Empire, they were the biggest empires on earth. Now they had a very tough fight, and then the Roman Empire was defeated by the Persian Empire. Because Romans were Christians, and Persians were the worshippers of fire. Yes, and then the Romans were defeated by the Persians. The Prophet was very, very, very sad.
Very angry, yeah.
He was very saddened. Why? Because Christians are closer, of course, to him than the Persians. That is why the Quran even was revealed. Alif Lam Mim Ghulibatir Rum. Allah is saying that Rome, Assalamu alaikum.
One on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Marhab.
Yeah. Good evening, Ustaz.
Good evening, welcome.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just have a question that I want to ask.
Welcome.
Yeah, it might be out of the topic, but I think it's important.
No problem, go ahead.
That is male conducting deliveries, like male midwives. Well, I don't know what is the Sharia and the law saying about that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, to answer your question, in a pure Islamic state, that will not happen. In a pure Islamic state, they will train men as nurses or midwives, and then women, and then they will attend each the other. But in a non-Islamic state or in a Muslim state like ours, you go with your wife and you discover, you go to the hospital or anything and you discover that there's no male, there's no women who do that. So now here what Islam says is that you have to succumb, you have to yield, but based on the principle of necessity. Based on the principle of necessity. And it must be done and regulated with etiquettes. Meaning, if you go with your wife, don't leave her with the man. You make sure that you go with her with the man. And even the midwifery, the man who is conducting that should not allow himself to be in private with any woman. For example, because you are just given exception to deal with a woman. But originally speaking, you should not deal with a woman because the growing of a woman is not allowed for you. But because there is no other woman, and this woman has to be cured, that you build on the principle of necessity. Necessity, they say, dictates exceptions. But also there is another principle that said necessity is bounded by its limit. So because of necessity is bounded by its limit, when you have a woman coming, make sure that you use necessity to the narrowest domain, meaning don't allow yourself to be alone with any woman because it's not safe. Shaitan is dangerous.
Very powerful.
Secondly, you also do not step beyond the areas that is needed. If, for example, the woman can be cured just by seeing this part, don't go the parts that are very sensitive. Thirdly, you are advised to use gloves. For example, if you are touching other parts of the woman and you can touch glove and you know it, please touch gloves. All these are things that will help you. And fourthly, make sure that you invite another woman. Even if you are doing it, I'm not saying that you will be in private, but invite another woman. For example, you man and a woman and the patient. If there's no woman, invite her husband. If there is no husband, invite another relative of her. If not, then invite another man. And then you have gloves, and then you make sure that to the limited of necessity. If you do that, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you. But if you don't do that, then the intention to cure you have might turn into something that
is very clear. Yes. It depends on what exactly you are thinking.
So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much.
So I was talking about the sympathy of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the Christian. Alif lam mim ghulibatir rum fi adnal ard wa hum min ba'di ghalabihim.
There's another caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, Mr. Jeremy.
Welcome. Sant Yàlla.
Ja naka waa kër.
ñu ngi fi rek.
Alhamdulillah.
Sa programme bi nee na de.
yal na yàlla kontaan.
jërëjëf.
Dëgguma olof bu baax man soose la.
waa set na.
Thank you very much. Sa olof kay set na.
set na de.
dama doon try ndànk-ndànk.
déedéet set na yaa ñu gañe sax ñun li nga wax duñ ko mën a wax.
yaa ma man.
ñun ñaar yëpp.
waaw man laa jërëjëf bu baax a baax sa programme bi.
jërëjëf.
sa programme bi su woote bi jotee dama doon toog ak suma njaboot yi fu mu nekk maa ngi toog di la seetaan.
wallaay thank you very much.
maa ngi suma doom ak suma jabar ak rakam yëpp ñu ngi laa seetaan.
thank you very much. fooy callee from.
sa programme bi toujours maa ngi la doon seetaan toujours.
thank you very much. jërëjëf
mu ne fan nga callee.
maa ngi callee Yundum.
Yundum waa baax na jërëjëf.
yes Yundum.
jërëjëf.
jërëjëf Mr. Dia.
Thank you. You see, Alif Lam Mim Ghulibatir Rum. Then you see that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very sympathetic with Christians. So you can see now then, if now you are developing a relationship, this goal that you have just mentioned can be divided into four. Number one, if you are now going to develop a relationship with a non-Muslim, number one, your own objective, your first objective is to have positive impact on him by good word. You see, good word, Aisatu, is just like, as the Quran says, al-kalimatu tayyiba, kashajaratu tayyiba. You see, you can acquire hundreds of thousands of friends by just one good word. That's why if you are going to any individual, for that matter non-Muslim, your aim is not just to go and engage in other things. Your aim should be to go and have a positive impact on him. A dialogue.
In a very peaceful way.
You go and talk to him to make sure that before you leave that...
There's another call on the line.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Oh, she's gone.
Missed it. You see?
Probably a fuller. That's what they do.
Now, to go and have an impact, a positive impact in what you feel as a peace, what you feel as light. Secondly, is also to have influence by conduct.